Hello, friends. This is JD. Welcome to Bliss in the blog. Today we're going to be talking about blessings and light. 'Tis the season. Um, I don't know if any of you have made the connection. I'm sure you have. If you're listening to this, you're probably quite enlightened. But most holidays around this time of year talk about the light and in various ways. There's Hanukkah with the menorah, and happy Hanukkah to all those who celebrate. There is Christmas, and with Christmas you have the candles just, well, all over the place. In fact, in I think the 1800s, Christmas trees were lit with candles. Don't get me started on Christmas trees. That's a whole other topic for another day. And where they come from. You have Kwanzaa and the light there from the harvest festivals. You have Diwali, that has the lit lamps. There's so many festivals and celebrations involving light because in most parts of the world during this time of the year, we are we are in a darker time, and we look forward to longer days. Obviously, in certain parts of the world, this is not the case, but at least up here in the northern hemisphere, such is the case, and we are all looking forward to longer days, to light coming into our lives. And light does not have to be the physical light in the sense of the sun, but it can be in the form of blessings, because around this time of year you also have a lot of harvest festivals, and harvest symbolizes all of the blessings and abundance in our life. And there's so many forms. I know I've talked about this before with you. In fact, today up at my office we just had a bringing in abundance meditation, and one of the things that I talk about in our meditation is, seeing things on our path that are unexpected blessings. If you follow me on Facebook, it's been a very, very crazy week. After a month and a half of things being extremely slow and me kind of questioning everything, all of a sudden in 1 week, blessings came like through the woodwork to the point where I've just been exhausted, but it was worth it. And lovely, and I got to meet a lot of new people. But I basically did the equivalent of 20, I think 21 readings this week. Well, this weekend, I think between last Monday and today, I think that would bring it up to about 22 one-on-one sessions, and there's going to be more this weekend. So it's been a very busy 2 weeks, but blessings and light have been coming out of the woodwork. When I was in a phase where things were looking a little bit dark, um, and just I can't even count all the blessings. But things have really like done a 180 in a week. And when you think that your life might be in a dark place, or you might have trouble gaining momentum, just be happy for the small things. Um, I think it was this Saturday had um, I had two events booked. I had a class, and major things came out of that class. Major, major, major things. Um, well, I'm going to backtrack till Thursday. Thursday, I have my weekly development circle for intuitive development, and I had some pretty spot on readings from my students. They were amazing, so shout out to you guys if you're listening. Um, and they confirmed some things for me that I had been questioning, and they also validated. So there's a lot of validation of things that I kind of already knew, but it was nice to have the reinforcement from the other side. And there was confirmation of things that I was wondering might be going on. And it was nice to get the confirmation. So then you fast forward to Friday, and Friday I had a lovely one on one, and then followed by a rather decent sized mediumship gallery. I don't know if you guys know that I do mediumship, but I do. And it was crazy. The things I ended up remote viewing because the spirit did not want to come to me. No, no, the spirit, it turned out, was earthbound and in somebody's house, and I ended up jumping in. This was how the gallery started. And we were luckily able to cross this spirit over. But it was just so funny that things and symbols and skills that have not been happening are starting to happen. And in the meantime, so now we're on Saturday, and sorry if I'm rambling a little bit. Apparently, that seems to be the mode. Saturday, I, went to class, and some really cool things came out, not only in the class but in the aftermath. And I will talk about that all at a later date. But it means some pretty big changes for me, and and it's going to ultimately relieve some of the stress that I've been under. But also on my way from the class up to a party, which was way up north, I stopped to get some gas, and the guy lets me keep the change with, a little bit of a wink and a smile. I think he was flirting with me. And on the way back, I am starving, so I decide to stop and get a sub. And because the guy totally forgot to get something else for me, he ended up giving me 2 slices of pizza. He's like, "Do you want it?" I'm like, "No, no, that's okay." And he goes, "No, no, no, we're closing. Why don't you take it?" And I'm like, "Whoa." And I stop and I go, I said thank you to him. I'm like, "Sure, I'll take 2 pepperoni." But then I stop and I thank the universe. And I don't know how often you guys stop to do that, but when you get those little bits of abundance, like, yes, having all the business was really nice and that was wonderful, but it's those unexpected sources of abundance that we really need to stop and be thankful for, because that's the universe's way of saying, "Here, I'm throwing you a bone," especially if things have been a little difficult. And abundance, in this case for me, was finances. But for some of you, it's going to be health. For some of you, it's going to be space. It's going to be time. It's going to be love. And so when you accept those little abundances in your life, other abundances come in. And so for me, that was kind of like my light in the dark. And that was kind of my Christmas moment this year. And yes, I do celebrate Christmas, although I embrace so many different beliefs. Obviously, being a psychic medium kind of opens you up to the universal belief system. Um, but I do celebrate Christmas, and I love this time of year and kind of the magic and goodwill. And I think really that surrounds most of the holidays. I don't know anybody um, who is Jewish who would not agree with me, because that's really kind of what the light symbolizes. Light is hope. It is love. It is a sparkle and a glimmer in the darkness when you think all hope is lost. And no, hope was not lost for me. Do not misread this. It was just going through a funky period for me, and it was like, oh wow, this is really cool. And it seemed like one blessing on top of the other. So I was just really surprised and taken aback. And um, the people that I know who celebrate Hanukkah and Diwali and all of the other holidays that embrace light, um, again, it's about that magic of light. And sometimes that light is a smile when you're sad, or a hug when you're feeling lonely. And for those of you out there who might be feeling sad, I'm sending you a smile. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm sending you one. And if you're feeling lonely, then I'm sending you a very big hug. And I admire and love all of you who are taking your time out, not only to listen to me, but to invest. I'm sorry for the coughing. I'm still clearing it out from last month and the month before. Um, that I admire you guys for taking some time for yourself, and for maybe even just getting out of your own head for a little bit, or maybe even harder, delving in. So I send you all light, and I send you love, and I'm going to end on that. I really want your meditation to be, instead of me guiding you, I want you to think about 10 ways 10 different ways that you are blessed and 10 different lights over the course of this week. So I'm giving you homework, and the meditation is to be in a constant state of gratitude from now until the next time I see you. That I want you to focus on all of the light that surrounds you, and I want you to do this not just now, not just tomorrow, but for the next 7 days, and see how things subtly turn around. And I hope to hear comments from you next week in the well, comment section about how maybe things turned around for you just by focusing on those small abundances. When somebody smiles at you or says hello, or maybe they hold the door for you, or you go to park and there's money in the meter, or you are about to get a ticket and somebody pays for your meter, or you went to go order a small coffee and by accident they upgraded it to medium and didn't charge you, or maybe somebody paid your tolls for you if you don't have easy pass. I mean, there's a million different ways that light can come in, and maybe, just maybe, you find 10 ways to bring that light to others, and maybe you include that as part of your meditation. Smile at somebody who is clearly sad, or ask them how they're doing. Sometimes they just need to hear a voice. My friend and I were spending some time together, and we gave each other a really big hug, and we, they were going through something, and they said, oh, sometimes you just need a hug. And I said, you do. And I don't know about any of you single folk out there, but it's kind of tough to go and hug a stranger. People get a little creeped out. So while I recommend hugs, perhaps not a stranger, it's not safe, and it is a little creepy, so don't do that. um but perhaps, hug your friends, hug your family more, hug a dog. I got to hug a dog this weekend. It was great. That was my bliss. That was my light. I got to hug a dog, and, well, basically I said, please let me hug your dog. Please, please, please. Because, well, I want a dog in the worst way. I know it's not time yet, and I know the universe will bring me the dog of my dreams when it is time and when it's best for them and for me, and when we're a good fit. And so I've put that out to the universe. And no, please don't send me any dogs. I'm not asking for doggies. Besides, you don't know my address. And again, sending me a doggie might be a little creepy if I'm not around to take it, and or even if I am, just don't. But I'm hoping that the universe and I find the dog of my dreams. I already can see it in my mind. I know what it looks like. I even have the name. Um, but I know it's not time yet. So in the meantime, I will hug strangers' dogs and friends' dogs. And it's okay to hug a stranger's dog, just not a stranger. Unless they're really cute, then, they're, maybe. But no. I digress. Hugs all around. Think of puppies and lights, and whichever holiday you celebrate, may light come forth through it. May many blessings fill your day. And um, I'm hoping in the next few weeks to introduce you to one of my friends who's opening up a new business, and it's very exciting. And I have so much news. I can't wait for January to come. There's so much to talk about. I'm going to be starting 2 brand new series. One of them will be both in blog format and video format, and it's interactive. That I expect that some of you will be joining me on this journey. And there's another one that I think all of you who are fans of my card readings are going to love. I hope, hope, hope. Anyway, I love all of you. Many blessings. Talk to you on Friday with the card reading. Bye.